Hi guys and welcome to another episode of Indoor Gardening. This is Rals and today I want to share with you another experiment. Growing garlic in pots on the balcony. Yes, it's the very first time I'm doing this and as I already accustomed you to it, I'm gonna share every experiment I make. Actually, to be very honest, my husband challenged me to do this. We had some old garlic in the fridge that already sprouted, so I said, why not try it? For your information, garlic is a perennial plant, being relative to the shallot and the onion. If you want to grow garlic for the bulbs, like these ones over here, you can grow it in the garden or even in a container. But garlic has to be kept outdoors if grown for bulbs. If you do not need the bulbs, if you only need the garlic greens that can be used in several dishes, you can grow them indoors, like I'm gonna do right now. What do you need to do? Choose plump large bulbs with no damage. Select organically grown bulbs if you have the possibility to ensure they haven't been treated. If they were treated, they might not sprout. As you can see, these bulbs I have in my hand are quite decent in size. They are hard to touch and still connected to each other through this bottom part. They all look healthy. After disconnecting them one by one, we will have to check them again. Check for possible rotten areas and also check their size. The bigger the bulb, more successfully the crop. As you can see over here, I have a few bulbs that sprouted, some bigger and some smaller. The next step is to choose the pot. As I'm growing them for greens, I will choose an appropriate size and plant all the bulbs I have on hand, no matter the size, even this very small guy. It's tiny, but it has a nice, longer sprout already. Sprout, sorry. I'm trying to decide which one will go in which pot. Few moments later and it's gonna be time to place the garlic into the soil. I chose a plastic container with large draining holes and 3 plastic cups for the smaller bulbs. It should be sufficient for our purpose. The pot has large drainage holes as you can see right here. You have to ensure a very good drainage as you don't want your bulbs to rot. Even the tiny plastic cups that I'm gonna use have drainage holes prepared in advance. Although these bulbs are not gonna reach their full maturity, and they are grown for their leaves basically, we still have to offer them a bit of space to develop their roots. So I don't want them to be very crowded. Let me see. Yep, I think this pot is quite suitable. And now, as I said, it's the moment that we have to place them into the soil. If you're wondering about the type of soil that I'm using, I must admit I'm using recycled soil. Yes, I did say recycled soil. It comes from my citrus seedlings. I prefer not to throw the used soil away, but to repurpose it for other type of plants until it is fully depleted of its nutrients. Now planting garlic is very easy. Once you have filled the pots with soil, you just have to place the bulbs with the pointed tip facing upwards. So you have to check it and then again place the pointed tip upwards. You don't need to cover the entire bulb, especially if it has already a little sprout in the top, like mine have because they sprouted in the fridge. If you want to help a little bit the plant, you can remove the outer shell, but it's not mandatory. It's a clear distinction between the bottom and the top, so you should be fine. No mistakes should be made. Huh, speaking about mistakes, oops, I just did one. This one was placed upside down. Let me do a close-up. If I can only adjust the focus and the white balance. Once again, when you place the bulb into the soil, make sure that the thin pointed tip is facing upwards. Yep, that's the one. Two more to go. This one has the outer shell that I talked about. So the difference is that the sprout is gonna come out with a little bit more difficulty. I'm just experimenting here. I'm just trying to see which method is more successful. You can do like me, or you can remove the shell, the hard shell, in advance. Yep, now we're done with this part, and we only have to backfill with more soil. Press gently around each clove the soil that you are adding, and if you have cloves with sprouts, make sure you are very gentle around them. You don't want to damage the tiny sprout that just came out. Once done, I will water these pots, wait for maybe 2 or 3 days, and then water again. The second watering will be done 1 week apart, as I don't want the cloves to rot. Depending on your conditions, if it's very hot and dry, you might have to adjust the watering to maybe 5 days instead of 7 days. It looks like they are a little bit covered in soil, but after watering, the soil is gonna rearrange itself. Now it's time for the little cloves in the cups, and then we will be done. If you haven't used garlic greens before, don't worry, because I haven't either. To be honest, again, my husband did. The leaves have a garlicky flavor, but they are milder than the cloves. And the garlic greens are very popular in Asian cuisine, and far as I've heard, in Iran as well. So if you're watching from Iran, please do comment below and let me know if what I've heard is true. The garlic greens add a delicate flavor to salads, stews, soups, and sauces. You can slice them into salads or saute them as a quick addition to pasta instead of a basil, for example. You can also make pesto out of them. Every other day my husband is asking, did they grow? Did they grow? Because he can't wait to add them to pancit canton. If Filipino family and friends, you know what I'm talking about. For the rest of my friends from around the world, please Google it. I love pancit canton, and I'm sure that you will also. I hope I made you curious enough, and then you are gonna Google all about pancit canton. But now let's go back to the task on hand. I figured you will be curious, so 1 week later, this is the result. Again, I must stress that this garlic is grown for greens, for its leaves. In order for the garlic to reach full maturity and develop its bulbs, it requires a period of cooler temperatures and minimum 6 hours of sunlight per day. Unfortunately, my balcony, although great, it's not that great that I can harvest fully grown garlic bulbs 9 months from now. So far, I can say that I'm happy with the growth, and I can report that almost all the bulbs have sprouted. The soil is still wet after the first watering, and I need to wait a few more days than planned before for watering again, as it's quite cold these days and the soil doesn't dry so fast. Some sprouts are taller than others, and even one of the bulb that has been left with the outer shell has managed to sprout. So these are my results 1 week after planting them. I really hope you enjoy this video, and I know that you are tired of YouTubers asking you to subscribe to their channels, but this would mean a great deal for me as I put a lot of time and effort in making these gardening how-to videos. Thank you so very much for watching and hope that I will see you next week over here on my channel. Yours, Rals.